This is the crossrc AT4 EMO, and it's an interesting rig. It's something of a cross between the Traxxas TRX4 Chevy and the G-Made Bomb TC, the GS02F. It's got portals, locking diffs, 2-speed, and it's a kit. I think it's going to be extremely capable. And if you'd like to see how this thing stacks up against the competition, stick around. The cables you see there, they go back to a single servo, so you engage and disengage the diffs with one switch at once. So it's either both unlocked or both locked. So on paper, the TRX4 has the AT4 beat, but otherwise these are very similar rigs. They're both pretty heavy. This is a kit. It took me a little while to build, but it was a pleasant enough build. Like the TRX4, there is no interior, but I'm sure we can add one. It comes with lights from factory. You get a double set of headlights and a nice little set of taillights as well. The tires are very sticky. The wheels are heavy, they're weighted, and I've got a photo of how much they weigh. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're heavy. Now that's one thing that the TRX4 doesn't have. These are beadlock wheels. They've got nice foams. Now in the box you had a firm set of foams and a soft set of foams. They weren't dual stage, they're single stage, but you had a choice. Now I had a feel of both of them and I decided to go with the soft ones for both, for front and rear. The ratios are nice and wide for first and second gear. And I mean, it finishes pretty nicely. The mirrors are actually, that's a reflective thing you had to put on there. It's a reflective piece. I've tinted the windows with smoke, except for the front, but then the stickers you put over it are also tinted. So overall, it's a very attractive piece of kit. And here's the undercarriage. Functional sliders. Body sits in the little rails there next to the sliders. Now I've decided to go cheap on this. I've used the Power Hobby TR4 mini servos for the first and second gear change and for the single diff lock servo. I've used the LV, the low voltage JX servo steering servo, and it has the Hobbywing 1060 ESC. And you can see that through the windscreen. It's up in there. So I've done this thing on a budget. It comes with a 35 turn motor. Now, with brushed motors, especially at the cheap end of things, the non-rebuildable ones, I usually stick a 40 or a 45 turn motor in models like this. I've not changed it. I've decided to go with the stock 35 turn just to see. I mean, Cross prescribed this motor, so they'd know what they're doing. And I think the gearbox is going to be low enough that, well, I hope it is, that on 2S or 3S it's going to be quite controllable. I'm looking forward to testing these tires. They are the crossrc Black Rock tires. They're 120mm, whatever that is in ye old Americana sizing. It's not a licensed body is what I'm trying to say, and I've finished it in a I used quite a few different colors in this actually. It's come out quite nicely though. I used the purple and green pearlescent from Tamiya, then I put some copper underneath it on the bottom half and finished some accents in copper as well. Then black went on that, and then white on some of the accents, and it looks like green in some angles and purple in others and kind of pink or maroon in others. It's pretty cool. Anyway, there's the mother of all rainstorms coming, so let's get this thing on the track. I'm using my GT5 radio with this. Now I'm testing it with the same little 3S battery. There we go. Check out these headlights, aren't they cool? Taillights. Okay, here we go. Problem 1, we're in first gear with the Cross AT4 and we are locked. I'm pretty sure we're locked. There's a reverse. It's a tricky transition, this bit. Oh, ooh. Whoa, wow, wow, that should have flipped. Wow, what a stable rig. Okay, with Tully in the background, we've got the AT4 on problem 1. We're in first gear and the diffs are locked. You can hear the motor whine as a result of the pulse width modulation from the Hobbywing 1060. I've just unlock the diffs to help pull it around, get a tighter turning circle. Diffs are locked again, and straight into problem 2. Again, we're running on a little 3S battery. It's the same battery I use in all my tests. And the cross 35 turn. Oh, nice. Okay, so these tires, again, they're the crossrc black rocks. They make a lot of difference. Now that's the wheels clicking away on the body, that's fine. Nice amount of drag brake there too. Now it's not going to do it on this angle on problem 3, but while I have a go anyway, just in case, I'll mention that the suspension is pretty nice. They're full aluminium shocks. They've got a nice amount of O-rings. I'm running 40 weight fluid in them, I think. Now these springs, they're actually a dual stage spring. Sorry, I bumped my controller then, put you back there. They're a dual stage, but there's no separation there. The one piece, they're widely spaced and then narrowly spaced. The instructions had you put the stiffer ones on the front. I've left them as the instructions said, but instinctively they should be on the rear, not the front. I've actually left this thing pretty much, well, totally stock actually. Alright, so I did say that wasn't going to work. For this problem you want to come in from the side and kind of swing around. But I'm just trying this first because a portal truck can get over this first piece of concrete junk that straight axle vehicles can't. Well, when I say can, I mean has a chance of. Now, actually unlocking here would be advantageous potentially. I just want it to hug the rock. Now we're locked again. I'm not relaxing that steering. I want it to stay hard left. I'll relax it as soon as we get some traction. There we go. This is exciting to me. The reason it's exciting is because if a truck can finish number 3, we've got a chance of finishing number 6. And if it finishes number 6 as well, problem 6, it joins the ranks of only one other rig that could do it. That one other rig being the G-Made Bomb TC. It's the only rig that's finished all 6 problems. In 4-wheel drive, that is. The TRX6, of course, did it in the wet. Alright. It'll be interesting to see if this thing can actually finish all 6. This is problem 4, and it's also quite challenging. This part that we're in front of now, that ridge there and that high point there, they're both very challenging for 4-wheel drive crawlers. Again, the TRX4 6 did this in the wet and made it look easy. If you could only have one truck and you needed performance above all else, TRX6 is the answer. But my search here is for the most capable 4-wheel drive scale or semi-scale rock crawler. There we go, there we go. Oh, okay. I'm going to spoil the ending here and tell you it can do it. I haven't done it yet, but it's going to. Portals give it the reach and the sticky tires give it the traction. Yeah, didn't I tell you? Look at that. I know this course pretty well, but I know crawlers very well. I can tell you when something's going to go well. See a little skink down there? Problem 4, on to problem 5. Okay, we're in first gear and we're locked. This body is very pretty in the sun. Now everything gets high pointed here, so don't worry when you see that happen. Which, whoop, didn't happen. Okay, so this is the first weakness I can share with you. The bumpers are a flexible plastic. They're pretty hard, but they do have a bit of flex in the mounting system. There we go. Now we're actually on the rear bumper. That's okay. These sticky tires will pull it around. I'm going to include these I'm going to include these tires in my next tire comparison because my suspicion is they're going to do very well. That was the slipper? There's a slipper in this thing? Let me think. Yeah, there is. There we go. There we go. Just adjust this and keep the pressure on. Wasn't bad for 2 hands, was it? There we go. Now, less grippy tyres would have failed here, and a bad centre of gravity also would see the truck fail. In fact, my money's on it failing. We're not going to recover this, I don't think. Yeah. I'll keep this in the test though, because it's good to know where it fails, of course. And a slightly different line choice there, and we didn't have the same problem. Well, not as severely. There we go. If I can keep the truck a bit higher around the rock, that fall off won't happen. So as always, line choice is key, and that actually made it look easy. So if I'd chosen a better line first time around, we would have been fine. Now, since we're here, notice how the body's popped out. There's nothing really holding it in except a bit of pressure. And I will say this chassis is also kind of flexible. There's quite a bit of twist in this thing. You can twist it. However, a stiff chassis for crawling isn't as important as a stiff chassis for road cars. We weren't recording! It just finished all 6 problems. I don't know what it didn't get. Alright, let's do it again. Okay, problem 6. Might need to trim the wheel wells a little. I'm just going to have to hope that we can do it without that slipper needing tightening. There we go. So it should pull up and around, having very sticky tyres. There we go. Well, this is quite exciting. The Cross AT4 EMO just did all 6 problems. It has a slipper that is adjusted from factory. Even though it's a kit, the transmission and the axles came pre-built. I looked at the one of the axles and it was full of grease and everything was done properly, so I re-Loctited and put that thing back together. Didn't touch the other one. The slipper is a little bit slippy, but even though the slipper slipped a little bit too much then, it just did problem 6 twice. The first time was smooth as silk, but I wasn't recording with the GoPro. I thought I was. Then I did it again, and although it slipped and slid a little, it made it. So this is the second 4-wheel drive vehicle in stock form that's able to do all 6 problems on my course here. That's actually quite an achievement. The only other vehicle I've got that can do it, that isn't an expensive custom-made comp truck, is the TRX6. The TRX6 did it in the wet. I don't think any 4-wheel drive could do it in the wet. Not even my comp trucks, because traction is an issue. But this, the crossrc and the G-made Bomb TC, they're the only 2 4-wheel drive scale or semi-scale crawlers that could do all 6 problems here. That's nothing to be sneezed at. This is similar on paper to the TRX4 Bronco. Everything from having the included wheel wells, to the lockable diffs, to the 2-speed transmission, to the pretty scale body. The crossrc has the TRX4 beat in a few places. It comes with heavy metal beadlock wheels. It comes with tyres that are very good. I haven't tested these against other tyres yet, but I suspect they're going to be some of the best tyres. Just from grippiness and from how they feel here. Comes with a choice of foams. Comes with a motor, but you need to add your electronics. But even though I've done this on the cheap, it's well adequate. That was just done on 3S and it was so impressive. The lights are very cool. TRX4 does the body mounting a little bit better, I think. Just a little though. I also like that the TRX4 gives you independent control of the diff locking mechanism, although it's actually not a huge deal. I do unlock the rear diff when I'm trying to bring the nose around. Sometimes unlocking the front helps you with steering. That's on the TRX4. On the AT4, you either lock or unlock. On a few of the problems here, I unlocked both diffs and it turned nicely. As far as control goes, I'm very happy with it. Waterproof electronics I've included, great, but the bearings aren't waterproofed, and also I don't know how well these metal sprung cable sleeves would fair. They're lovely and flexible, but would they handle much in the way of mud without before the cables got difficult to move? I don't know. I do like on these axles that you can change the rotation of the portals. Right now they're actually rotated kind of forward, but that's okay. I'll have been showing some of the photos from this thing while I built it so that you could see what's going on inside it. But overall, the AT4 EMO is a serious contender for most capable scale or semi-scale rock crawler. It is most impressive. Pair it with something like the GT5 if you're doing things on the cheap, that's Fly Sky. Or if you want to go a bit more upmarket, get the DX5 Rugged. That's my pick for the expensive end of things. You might want to check out my recent review of the Bomb TC. It's the other four-wheel drive that completed all 6 problems. You also might want to check out my tyre review. I haven't included this yet, but I've got an update coming soon where we'll do this and a few other tyres as well, and that should be quite interesting. Leave me a like if this was useful or interesting to you, and I'll catch you next time on RC-TNT. Now we're going to get this around the track. I bet it's going to be good.